with regard to Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall. UFC 309 also proved that Jon Jones would lose to Tom Aspinall.
Oh, overreaction.
Really? Go ahead.
No, I have to say overreaction because then I just feel like I'll be hating on
you don't
Jon
have
Jones.
to agree with me, but you really think it's an overreaction that what we saw from Jon Jones in there, that if we saw what Jon Jones looked like against Stipe, you don't think Tom takes care of him?
What didn't you like in Jon Jones' performance?
Even though I thought Jon's looked a step slower. I don't think he looked old and slow and over the hill and passed away past his prime, but I thought Jon looked a step slower in there.
What I will say is I didn't like his defensive reactions to when Stipe was trying to strike.
That too.
Yeah,
so that's the thing. So so you just set me up there because I thought to myself as I was watching this fight, if that was Tom Aspinall going in with those attacks, and that's the defense that Jon Jones is going to have against Tom Aspinall. Ooh, I don't know if that go. I think Tom swarms him.
Tom always tries to swarm everyone. That's what Tom Aspinall does, right? He hasn't really been tested outside of the Arlovski fight in terms of going into deeper rounds. He just kind of steamrolls everybody. Credit to him, obviously, because he's got power and precision. But Jon Jones, like, he's one of the smarter fighters. Like, he just always finds a way to adapt to somebody's style. I never thought he was going to do that to Ciryl Gane. I've been high on Ciryl Gane. I know a lot of people are.
As was I.
Yeah, I really thought Ciryl was going to give him problems with his movement and his footwork. Obviously, the fight went to the ground right away. I didn't even expect him to sub him that quickly. Yes, I know that Gane got taken down by Ngannou and whatnot. But point being that Jon has good fight IQ. Like, he's a guy that finds a way to win, and he knows that he has to weather an early storm with Tom Aspinall, and he knows he's going to try to drag him into the later round. So for me to look at that performance and be like, oh, Aspinall is going to steamroll him, I don't know. Will Aspinall pose problems? Potentially, because he can grapple, and he's strong, and he's fast, and he's got, moves like a middleweight.
Poses huge problems.
But yeah, well, that I had that similar vision when it came to Ciryl Gane. Outside of the ground game, I felt like on the feet and stuff, he was going to be a problem for Jones. Now, obviously, we didn't see that. We didn't get to see that because Jones took him to the ground so quickly. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't necessarily think that he was going to trip Stipe so easily like that and cause so much damage on the ground, regardless of Stipe's age and him being away from the cage. So I just think that Jon's fight IQ is often underrated, and I don't feel like Aspinall would work him. I feel like if this fight does get booked, he's fully aware of the narrative surrounding this. He's fully aware of people saying this guy's going to beat you. I just think Jon Jones has, outside the cage behavior, when it comes to his fight prep, he does it more diligently than anybody. So I wouldn't think that Tom would necessarily steamroll him. So I would say overreaction.
But would you agree with the assessment that did Jones not look like he lost a step? Did he not look? And I'll say this. I will say he was coming off of his own layoff with the surgery, 15 months off, or maybe it was more like 16 or 17 months off, 18 months off since he fought. And I realized that too. So I will say, like, it was still somewhat like a mildly impressive performance from Jon. But Jon, by the time if he does fight Tom Aspinall, he'll be 38 most likely by the time we get to that fight. If it does happen, time doesn't make you faster. And I saw a Jones that was just a little bit slower. You don't agree with that?
Maybe it's heavyweight, maybe the extra weight, but I don't know. That's not the performance. And I know I'm fully aware that Stipe is not the Stipe Miocic of old, and he looked every bit of a 42-year-old, and he did look a lot slower. But Jon just looked basically untouched in that fight. So coming off of that performance, it's tough for me to look at that specific performance and be like, all right, he's getting steamrolled by Tom Aspinall, if you know what I mean. I just think that Jon, if he's motivated, the way he preps for his fights and whatnot, his fight IQ, I could never rule him out of, a fight against Aspinall.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, the fight IQ, it's the great argument for Jon Jones. Like, he can probably fight longer into his career, even as he slows down, because of the fight IQ. I will concede that he's always been one of the smartest fighters. He's maybe the smartest fighter that we've seen in the cage.
MMA Junkie AI.